Hello, what's up everyone? Welcome to our 2024 Albums of the Year. This is me and Garrett, just like last year. And we have a fresh batch of 15 albums each for you guys.
Up in the ante.
Yeah, but this time with less yapping.
Very important.
Because
side note, yep.
Last year we got some comments that we were yapping a bit too much. We had to split the video into two parts because we talked way too much.
It was like 40 minutes.
Yeah. So this time it will be shorter.
Looking back on 2024 compared to our video last year, we have some kind of differing opinions on cohesively what 2024 brought us with music. So in my opinion, I was pretty disappointed overall with the albums that came out. The majority of them I did not like particularly much. That being said, the top 10 or so albums, in my opinion, better than last year. So improvements have been made. Yeah.
I definitely like this year more than last year. I didn't listen to as many albums as Garrett did, but the ones I did check out, I really enjoyed, and like most of them. I was kind of having a hard time narrowing it down to 15, but Garrett was not.
I was fighting to make some inclusions.
That was that's the difference between our list, kind of. So before we start, both of us wanted to add an honorable mention.
Yeah.
So do you want to go first?
My honorable mention is Boy by Luke Hemmings. And even though this isn't an honorable mention in the sense that it was number 16, it's just an album that I checked out this year that I was pleasantly surprised with. I think that indie pop and synth pop, I mean, while it's certainly enjoyable, it doesn't necessarily always rank up there in terms of quality. And this album really surprised me, so I definitely recommend it. And then I definitely recommend everyone to check out the song Close My Eyes.
So
we're starting off on a strong foot.
I'm really sorry. I have three. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not gonna talk about them.
Rapid fire.
Glimmer of God, Gene Dawson. Sorry, I saw him live. I should be putting it higher. It's okay. Band of Stone in the New World, Childish Gambino. Also saw this live with Garrett. Should be putting it higher. Whatever. The next one is an album I listened to yesterday. It's called One Death by 1AM. He's an underground rapper. Listened to it yesterday. I was blown away.
Starting off at number 15 is Crowds in Pain by Royal Otis. You definitely know them from their covers of Murder on the Dance Floor and Linger, but believe it or not, they do pretty well writing their own songs. So in my opinion, pretty much carrying indie rock right now. I love the new wave post-punk guitar aesthetic they got going on this record.
So my number 15 is Re by Damon R. This is like an 18-minute EP. I love it. It's so catchy, and I think the genre is like technically called Electro Clash, and that was like, I was playing that like all year. It was like my favorite subgenre I found this year. Everyone needs to listen to Just Obliterate. Go listen.
Do it. All right, number 14 is No Title by Godspeed You Black Emperor. I feel like post-rock is a genre that really hasn't gotten a lot of love in recent years, nor has Godspeed You Black Emperor really put out stuff as of recent, but it's one of the most captivating albums of the year.
My number 14 is Boy by Two Hollis. I know Garrett had an album called Boy.
It's a great year for albums called Boy.
It really is.
All right, 13, we got At Vista by Childish Gambino, even though it's a re-release of March 15th, 2020.
Don't matter.
He tuned it up. It's amazing. I mean, I'm sorry it knocked Band of Stone the New World off his other release this year, but amazing project.
My number 13 is Imaginal Disc. I think that's how you say it, by Magdalena Bay. A lot of people have this as their number one, probably. I thought it's really good. The song Cry For Me, especially, is amazing.
Coming in at 12 is Alligator Bites Never Heal by Doechii. And I didn't think it was an amazing year for hip-hop, but this album easily clears as my favorite hip-hop album of 2024.
My number 12 is Two Star and the Dream Police by McGee. That's how you say it? Stupid. It should be pronounced MKG.
MK.G.
MK.G. But this album grew on me so much since I listened to it the first time. The first time I like barely liked any of it, and now I'm like, play that whole thing. Are You Looking Up? One of the songs of the year.
That's our song of the year, I think. The live version on YouTube. more
Live version.
specifically.
Listen to the live version.
Yep. Next up at 11 is Fearless Movement by Kamasi Washington. Jazz fusion album. What's there not to like?
So my number 11, Garrett has already mentioned it, but it's No Title by Godspeed You, Black Emperor. I listened to this album while playing Fortnite, and it was just a majestic experience.
All right, starting the top 10, we have This Could Be Texas by English Teacher. So this is their first album, in my opinion. They're kind of carrying the torch after Black Country New Road. And if there's any reason you should listen to this album, it's the final song, Albert Road. Very much like I Know the End by Phoebe Bridgers or Basketball Shoes by Black Country New Road.
So my number 10 is very different. It's Sahim by Sa Baby. I'm just very happy that we're getting a very solid, not bloated trap album in 2024 from one of the most consistent rappers in the game. If you're going to listen to one song from this, listen to Viking, one of my favorite songs of the year. I'm going to write an article about it for my school's music magazine. It is just...
Number 9 is Dance, No One's Watching by the Ezra Collective. This is an amazing jazz album, and I think the carefree nature of the record just kind of comes through with the name. That it's not dance like nobody's watching, it's dance nobody's watching. I mean, too many times are we worried with what people are thinking about us or if somebody's watching us, and in reality everyone's just doing their own thing. So dance, no one's watching.
All right, my number 9 is Charm.
Number 8. No, it's number 9. Garrett. All right.
My number 9 is Charm by Clara. This industry plant's got bars.
Yeah.
I've listened to this album many times while reading feminist literature. Also, I'm 6'1", by the way.
Coming in at number 8 is I Lay Down My Life For You by JPEG Mafia. The pink tape walked so this album could run, in my opinion. The rock-inspired, in-your-face rap album of the year. Yeah, JPEG Mafia does an amazing job. Sin Miedo is one of the best songs of the year, no doubt.
You niggas is bitches, I don't want to kick you.
My number 8 album of the year is GNX by Kendrick Lamar. I think that out of all the mainstream, like, popular rappers this year, like Gambino, Kanye, Tyler, and Kendrick, I think this is easily the best project out of those.
Mustard!
Yeah. Gloria is the best song. I'll debate anyone on this. Gloria, no, like, I have not seen that many people talking about it. Gloria is so good.
Dan's throwing hands in the comments section. Fight him on it. Number 7 is Songs from a Lost World by The Cure. So, The Cure are back with a bang. It's been a while since they last made a record, and I think this is the best comeback album they could have done. I mean, it's distinctly The Cure's sound, but at the same point, it's not as if they're trying to rip off any of their previous songs. Robert Smith keeps his voice in perfect shape. I don't know how he does it, and all around an amazing record.
My number 7 is Cold Visions by Blade. It's basically this chill white dude rapping about his anxiety and depression over a bunch of filthy beats, 30 songs. It's like a wet dream for me.
Number 6 is an album I'm willing to bet none of you guys have listened to, and that would be A Dog's Chance by Polo Perks.
I'll listen to it.
So I think Polo Perks is one of the most creative rappers out there right now. He uses these samples which he does not make any attempt to try to accommodate for with his lyrics. It is truly two separate experiences when you're listening to the song. It is the sample and it is his rapping. They are not compatible. And for me, I just think that's the coolest thing because you got two things going on at once.
For my number 6, I have Brat by Charlie XCX. I'm sure a lot of people have this as their number 1. For me, it's one of my favorite female artists, making one of the best albums of her career and finally getting the mainstream worldwide appreciation that she deserves.
All right, my number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth favorite album of the year is Hex Dealer by Milky Max. And this is very much in the same vein as Death Grips. It's just that in your face, hyper trap, I don't know, amalgamation that makes you feel like you're about to do a crime.
Great cover. Great cover.
Yes, I think it's the best. We'll enlarge in it. It's one of the coolest album covers I've seen. Definitely the top of the year.
My number 5 pick is No Hands by Joey Valence and Bray. I literally just clicked on this album because it had a cool cover, and I was not disappointed. I love the whole thing, and they rap about Strombolis and Shirley Temples, and they make like your mom jokes, and they just do it in the coolest way imaginable. Fun fact, they made the Sicko Mode or Mo Bamba meme. If someone made memes before they made music, I know I can trust them with my life.
All right, strap in. Number 4 is Heavy Metal by Cameron Winter. And Cameron Winter is the lead singer from the band Geese, which actually made my honorable mentions last year. And I think he is one of the best vocalists out right now. He has a very distinctive voice, and I think this album really leans into what made the album last year so great.
My number 4 is actually not an album, it's an EP by one of my favorite artists ever, Bon Iver. It's called Sable, and it's like 3 songs, 15 minutes long. It just struck me harder than so many other albums this year, just because each song is so distinct in its memorable lyrics and gorgeous instrumental patterns. And I think that the lyrics hit me on a much more personal level than pretty much any other album did this year. So I have to give props to my boy Justin Vernon, adding to his incredible catalog of music.
That was really good.
Thank you.
All right, bronze medal is going to Glimmer of God by Gene Dawson. And he described this project as if Tupac were still around today and made a rock record. I don't know if that's necessarily true. That's not how I would describe.
Think that at all.
I will agree with one aspect of his description, though, that this is doing wonders for rock music right now. That, I mean, in terms of the genre, people say rock is dead. Gene Dawson's doing his best to keep it alive. And the song Houston, oof.
So my number 3 is Where We've Been, Where We Go From Here by Freako. This album was doing pretty well on the Rate Your Music charts back when I listened to it in like March, I think.
And that's what matters, let's be real.
Yeah, I just think this is like an instant classic. Like, I got the pleasure of seeing them live and meeting them and writing an article about them. I can link it in this description. If you listen to Where We've Been and you don't think it's one of the best songs of the year, I don't know what to say. I don't think I could be your friend.
So number 2 is 10 Days by Fred Again. And in my opinion, he's carrying the house music scene right now. I love the depth he gives to the genre, the emotional side to it, and that's really reflected, I think, especially in this album. I think that's truly representative in the song Just Stand There. I think it's one of the most powerful love songs I've ever heard. And that's saying something, but I truly, like, the lyrics, the storytelling in this monologue, just to the background of...
With Soak.
Yes. Just...
Why is that her name?
To think that this monologue about falling in love with someone in the most kind of mundane situations...
That's what I love.
With the house beat in the background. Amazing. And then, of course, you have Places to Be, which has probably my favorite music video of the year.
Yeah,
maybe second to Taylor Swift by A$AP Rocky. Thirdly, Peace You Need, just an amazing energy on that song. Classic Fred Again vibes.
So for my number 2 album, I just want to give some backstory. This year I moved into an off-campus house, and my housemate is very big into underground rap. So naturally I was exposed to a lot of that music in my daily life, and I decided to check out a bunch of albums from that subgenre. And my favorite one by far is my number 2 album of the year, Say So Says by Che. Yeah, so this album is just a mix of so many different genres. It's like plug and hyper pop, like trap, rage. There's a bunch of Crystal Castle samples in there, which I love Crystal Castle, so it was like very nice hearing those in there. There's also a storyline. What other underground rapper is doing that? There's like a whole storyline for this album. It's basically like he's at a party and his character Seiso is kind of like insane, and then he's doing a bunch of drugs and stuff. And then the song Interlude comes in and it shifts into a much more like violent atmosphere. And there's songs like Cut Off Your Hands and like Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, and it's like a bunch of violent imagery and stuff. And then it ends with him like killing everyone in the party.
Naturally.
So it's
A
really
heartwarming
good.
album.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, no. If you're a fan of like hip hop or hyper pop at all, I think you should like definitely check this out. It might take a few listens to get into, but it is worth it. Trust me.
Тепер мої любимі альбом 2024 года Romance by Fontaines DC. Everybody's favorite Irish punk band. This album is Fontaines DC's break into the mainstream, and normally while I love gatekeeping, I think it's very well deserved. And as described by the band themselves, it's a break from their more traditional punk history, and it's more, I would say, indie rock. And these more accessible indie songs can be found in Favorite, Sundowner, and Bug. But do not be mistaken, they still have songs that pack a punch, mainly Starburster. And this is just an all-out punk song. It's what you would expect from them. Brian Chatton's vocals definitely steal the show, where he uses his breathing really as a musical instrument in and of itself. I was lucky enough to see them in person in Brooklyn, and I did participate in their mosh pit, and it was by far my favorite concert experience I've been to. They're easily one of my favorite bands, and this album definitely takes the spot for top album of 2024.
My number one album of 2024, without a doubt, is Scrapyard by Quadeca. And I have the CD. Hopefully you can see that. It's cool we both have merch from our favorite album. This album came out, technically a mixtape. It came out in February, so that means I was listening to it for like the whole year. And it's just been a complete like creative inspiration for me. Quadeca like made all these songs himself, and they're all so different and like unique from each other, like somehow still fit together cohesively in an album. I was able to see him live, and I got a picture with him. I'll put it up on the screen. He was just like the nicest guy ever. It was very cool to meet him because I've just been listening to his songs all year. Dust Cutter, Guide Dog, and Texas Blue are my three favorites. Texas Blue is my favorite song of the year. It is a collaboration with Quadeca and Kevin Abstract. It just has the most beautiful instrumental. I've played it at a bunch of like transitional times this year. Because it's just an important song. It's so good.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny that in a year where Childish Gambino, Kanye, Tyler, Kendrick all released albums, this is by far my favorite from this former YouTube rapper who just happened to make this incredible album. So yeah, favorite of 2024, Scrapyard. Check it out. Yay! Less yapping.
We did it. We pulled through. We listened to you guys. That was a lot of fun to make. I had a great time.
Thank you so much for watching this. If you are still watching, Garrett and I are both going to be in London next semester, so maybe we'll make some videos there.
I think we have
or something. I'm very excited for that. And yeah, hope you guys have a great 2025.
Yeah.
All right, and if you guys want to pause the screen, I'm going to put our topsters of all the albums we listened to this year on the screen, so if you want to screenshot that. And we're also going to put some Spotify playlists of our top songs of the year.
Enjoy.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. We killed it.
We killed it.
Booyah.